In Nigeria, if you want to build a multi-million naira fast food empire, the playbook says you need three things: a massive luxury restaurant, a giant food menu, and a heavy air conditioning to keep a sit-down crowd comfortable. But right now, there is a business breaking every single one of those rules. They barely have a menu, and while their storefront looks incredibly clean and modern, they are built for one thing and one thing only: lightning fast food takeaway. Every day across Nigeria, thousands of people buy food from this brand. This is Item 7 Go, a brand that has quietly weaponized Nigerians' love for party jollof rice and turned it into a hyper-centralized, high-speed logistics, moving across different cities in Nigeria. But here is the question: how does a physics graduate build one of Nigeria's most recognizable food brands without a giant restaurant most competitors rely on? Because when you look very close, nothing about Item 7 should have worked. It didn't start with wealthy investors. It didn't start in luxury restaurants. It didn't even start in Lagos. It started right here in the University of Ilorin as a roadside food stand. And yet somehow, that small operation grew into a business spreading across multiple cities in Nigeria. A business built around party jollof. But the story gets even more interesting because the secret of Item 7 may not actually be the food. It may be something else entirely, something hidden behind the scene. And once you understand this, the rise of Item 7 will suddenly start making a lot more sense to you. But how did a physics graduate take a tiny roadside student kiosk and turn it into a fast food monopoly? Grab your notepad. I am Danica Kosy, and this is the Mogul Breakdown. In 2012, Nigeria looked very different. Food delivery apps were barely a thing. Most modern fast food brands were concentrated in major cities, and nobody was paying attention to the University of Ilorin. But one man was. His name was Toby, a physics graduate. He was something unusual. He didn't look for a corporate job. Instead, he set up a tiny roadside kiosk. Now, he didn't even study business, but he understood something much more powerful: human nature. He looked at the thousands of students walking past him every single day and noticed they all had the same problem. They were all broke, exhausted, and starving. What they wanted was simple: food that is affordable, food that would fill them up, that tasted good, and that they could get quickly. So he started small, very small, but hidden inside that simple idea was a powerful insight. Students may not have a lot of money, but they buy food every day. And if you can win that daily habit, you don't need a million customers. You just need loyal ones. Many successful businesses are built on obvious problems that everyone else overlooks. To understand Item 7, you have to understand Nigerians, and more specifically, you have to understand party jollof. Because to Nigerians, party rice is not just food, it is memory. Nigerians associate party rice with special occasions. You ate it when there was something worth celebrating. We associate it with parties, weddings, birthdays, owambes, and enjoyment. Then Item 7 did something very interesting. They took that experience and made it available every day. Suddenly, you didn't have to wait for a wedding. You didn't have to wait for a birthday. You could buy that feeling on a random day. And that may have been one of the smartest decisions the business ever made. Because great businesses don't always create demand. Sometimes they package existing desires better than everyone else. And students responded quickly. Word started spreading. And before long, the business had outgrown the roadside. Mr. Toby's genius was not inventing a new food, it was commercializing that weekend owambe feeling and selling it on random days for a price students could afford. Even the name Item 7 was a psychological hack. In Nigerian street slang, Item 7 means the food phase of an event. So in that way, before a customer even tasted the rice, the name already felt familiar. And when they later added the name Go, the identity was complete. It became modern, fast, and movement-driven. That is food on the go. But a bigger challenge was coming that could have ended the story before it even began. For a while, everything seemed to be working. Students loved the food, sales were growing, the brand was becoming more popular. But there was a problem hiding underneath that success. A problem many university businesses eventually face. Their customers were students, and student markets can be very dangerous because students don't stay forever. They graduate, they travel, they go home during breaks, and sometimes the entire university shuts down. When ASU strikes happen, campuses can become ghost town almost overnight. No lectures, no movements, and that means no customers. Imagine building a business where thousands of your customers can disappear within days. For many campus businesses, that is the beginning of the end. But for Item 7, it became the beginning of something much bigger because eventually the company realizes something important. If they want to survive long term, they couldn't depend on students forever. They had to leave campuses. The question was, where would they go next? Living a university environment sounds simple, but in reality, it is where many businesses fail because success in one location doesn't guarantee success in another location. For the first 4 years, they didn't rush, they stayed in Ilorin, dominating the student market, dominating Ilorin, mastering high-volume cooking, and letting word of mouth do the marketing. They transitioned into corporate partnerships and bettered the modern Item 7 Go model. They invaded Ibadan, one of Nigeria's largest cities, after they had taken over Ilorin, a place filled with students, workers, business owners, and millions of people moving around daily. Now the business started competing outside the original comfort zone. I've personally counted about 9 branches there, and there are likely more. Now notice something. They didn't enter quietly, they flooded the city. Why? Because when people see your brand almost everywhere, at every major junction, a psychological switch flips. You become more trusted, you become part of the city's daily routine. And when they finally entered Lagos, they didn't go to Banana Island, they targeted density, high traffic areas. From there, they exploded next move, highly populated locations first. Item 7 wasn't opening branches the way traditional restaurants did. Item 7 did something very different, and that difference will become one of the most important parts of its growth story. While most people think expansion means bigger building, bigger dining halls, bigger restaurants, bigger expenses, Item 7 appears to think differently. Instead of investing heavily on luxury locations, the company focused on something else: presence, accessibility, visibility, speed. They placed themselves closer to where customers already existed, along busy roads, near offices, around high traffic areas, places where people were already moving. It was almost as if the company understood what many businesses ignore. Customers did not always buy from the best options. Sometimes they buy from the closest options, the easiest options, and the fastest options. And suddenly, the brand seemed to be everywhere. Here is the fascinating part of the customer experience. When you buy from Item 7, it feels like a premium restaurant experience. The branding is clean, the nylon is customized, the structure looks corporate, but the food is incredibly cheap. How is that even economically possible? The secret lies in a hidden logistics system. If you go to different branches in Ilorin and different branches in Ibadan, the food tastes almost identical. Yes, of course, I know this because I've gotten Item 7 food both in Ilorin and Ibadan. And anyone who has eaten at enough restaurants knows that this is not normal. So how then were they doing it? The answer were hidden behind the scene. And that is because it looks like Item 7 doesn't actually cook fresh food at every individual branch. One day, I visited the city of Ilorin and then arrived at an Item 7 outlet. The food had finished, and normally that would be the end. No food means no sale. But then the employee said something unexpected. More food was coming. And I was like, more food from where? Not from the kitchen inside the outlet, but from somewhere else. And shortly after that, they brought in food. And that's when the puzzle started coming together. Instead of every branch preparing everything independently, food appeared to be prepared in a centralized production hub. This eliminates the need for expensive kitchen equipment at every location, slashes food waste, and solves the biggest killer of food brands: inconsistency. This is what business analysts call radical cost architecture. The traditional fast food brands in Nigeria are bleeding cash. They pay high rents for giant buildings, massive electricity bills to keep air conditioners running, and huge payroll for cleaning and floor staffs. Item 7 looked at that and said no. Their model is brutally simple: buy, collect, and go. By eliminating the dining room, they stripped away up to 60% of operational costs of traditional restaurants. And then suddenly, everything starts to make sense. The consistency, the speed, the expansion. The model wasn't just about selling food, it was about building a system. And once you see that, you stop looking at Item 7 as a restaurant. You start looking at it as an operation. Another interesting thing about Item 7 is that they don't care about making huge profits on one plate of rice like other traditional restaurants. They make a tiny profit per plate, but they sell thousands of plates per day across locations. In today's tough Nigeria's economy, they sit perfectly in the sweet spots. It is not dirty roadside food business, and it is not overpriced luxury. It is an affordable enjoyment that almost every average Nigerian can afford. Most people think Item 7 sells rice, but businesses rarely make money from what people think they sell. For example, McDonald's doesn't really sell burger, and in the same way, Item 7 may not really be selling rice. What they are selling is convenience, the speed, the ease, the reliability, the predictability. A customer walks in, gets food quickly, and leaves. No waiting for a table, no complicated ordering process, no long dining experience, just movement. And of course, movement matters because time is money. And for Item 7, every minute saved means more customers served. And more customers served means more revenue generated. And that is where the business becomes more fascinating. The model appears designed around volume. Thousands of transactions every day across multiple locations. Small profits multiplied repeatedly. The story of Item 7 is not really about food. It is about system and about understanding people. It is about taking something ordinary and delivering it more than everyone else. So what can we learn from these physics graduates who built a fast food empire? There are many ruthless business lessons here. Volume beats margin in a mass market. In an economy where purchasing powers are squeezed, the business that offers affordable premium wins. Secondly, the moment your product takes difference across branches, your brand begins to die. I personally have stopped buying food from so many restaurants because of this same thing. Next, spend time mastering one difficult environment first before trying to conquer the country. Next, do not try to be everywhere at the same time. You notice how Item 7 sells only party jollof rice and party fried rice. They do not sell fufu, eba, loi loi, and other things. They niched down, and now they are known for party jollof and party fried rice. You don't always need a new idea. Sometimes you need a better delivery system. Also, consistency is a competitive advantage. Another lesson is that convenience is one of the most powerful products in the world. The easier something is to buy, the more likely people are to buy it. And finally, scale the system and not the ego. While others were building bigger restaurants and bigger structures, Item 7 appears to focus on building a better structure, a stronger machine, and a stronger system. And perhaps that's why a small food kiosk that started outside the University of Ilorin became one of Nigeria's most recognizable food brands. But there is a warning here. The very system that made Item 7 giant is also its biggest risk. Because the moment customers start saying the taste has changed, it is no longer like before, the emotional trust starts to break. And in food business, trust is the only thing on the menu. Item 7 didn't invent party jollof rice. What they did was build an unbreakable system around what Nigerians already love. And that right there is a real business genius. Now, what Nigerian business pattern should we break down on the next episode of the Mogul Breakdown? Let us know in the comments below. And also, do not forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. And when you do subscribe, do not forget to turn on your notification bell so you get notified anytime we upload a new video. It takes an incredible amount of research to put this together. I am Danica Kosy, and I will see you all on the next episode of the Mogul Breakdown. I love you guys.